Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 7 o'clock, and before we drop the gavel to start the regularly scheduled council meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Havre Grace for the February 2nd meeting, we do have one public hearing on our agenda. This is going to be on Ordinance 1216, which was read into a first reading at the last council meeting. 1216 is an ordinance concerning adjusting right-of-way for the Amtrak River Rail Bridge project. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 75, 33, and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to adjust certain rights-of-way, boundaries, and to convey such property in fee simple to Amtrak in furtherance of the Susquehanna River Rail Bridge project. Hold on a second. Is anyone here this evening in attendance wish to speak on Ordinance 1216? Any comments from council members? Okay. Without any comments from the public or the council, I now close the public hearing. The time is 7:02. Good evening. It's February 2nd, 2026. I call to order a meeting of Havre Grace Mayor City Council. The time is now 7:02. I will call the roll. Council President?
Here.
Councilmember Boyer?
Here.
Councilmember Schneges?
Here.
Councilmember Boger?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Present.
Councilmember Ellis?
Present.
All council members are present. Could everyone please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and opening prayer? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I could ask everybody to kindly remain standing, as it gives me great pleasure to welcome a good friend of mine, Miss Irmgard Brown from St. John's Episcopal Church. Good to see you, Irmgard. Thank you for being here with us this evening.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Let's pray. God of the universe, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as this meeting begins. Help everyone engage in meaningful discussions and thoughtful decision-making. Nurture the bonds of this community in this place, extending dignity to all. Fill each of these leaders with your grace in order to listen well, speak candidly, and act with compassion. Continue to remind us that everything that is accomplished here is in pursuit of truth and in service to the people who live and work here. Amen.
Amen. Irmgard, thank you very much. We appreciate your words. Please be seated.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Sure.
I apologize. I know everybody's excited about the really short agenda we had, which I'm putting it at 8:03 for our finish time. Unfortunately, we do have other pressing issues, so I do make a motion. I move to amend the agenda to include a closed session at the end of the meeting to consult with counsel, to obtain legal advice, and to consult with city staff and city attorney about pending or potential litigation. That's my motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, Council President, are we putting this on the agenda, or are we voting to go in closed session on right now?
I make a motion to amend the agenda to include
Amend the agenda,
closed-
okay, all right, sorry.
to amend the agenda to go into closed session.
All right, so we're not voting on it, we're just amending the agenda, okay. Okay, what I'll do is I'll make that,
I didn't think it needed a motion, but
no problem. I'll just put that under your comments, then you can,
just add it on there. Yeah, thank you.
under your comments, all right. Anything else? Okay. Okay, we're going to go to item 5, approval of the minutes from the city council meeting of January 20th, 2026. Council will have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the January 20th, 2026 city council minutes are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. We're going to go to item 6, which is comments from citizens. This is the time to comment on agenda items. It's also the time to comment on any other matter of city business that you wish to address to the council. Normally what I do is if I have any pre-filled out forms, I will call on those forms first. Once I call on those speakers, then I just open up the floor at large and just raise your hand, be recognized, and come on up and to the podium. But first, I'd like to call on Ms. Jolene Forrester. Good evening, Jolene. Welcome to the meeting. May you please have your name and address for the record.
Jolene Forrester, 137 North Washington Street.
Welcome.
Mayor Martin, members of the City Council, I wanted to thank you for allowing us to host Pyrex and Vintage Fest here in Havre de Grace. This event has grown into something special, truly bringing visitors from across the country. The event simply would not be possible without the city's ongoing support and partnership. I'm also proud to share that last year, through Pyrex and Vintage Fest, we were able to donate $8,290 to the Havre de Grace Alliance, who co-hosts the event with us. Supporting our downtown and reinvesting in the community has always been a core goal of the festival. As we look ahead to this year, it's our 10th anniversary, and we're excited to expand into a larger venue area on North Washington Street. This expansion would allow us to create space for a live band, a seating area, and we are hopeful that several restaurants will participate with outdoor dining, further enhancing the visitor experience and economic impact for the city. With that expansion, we understand the city's responsibility to review safety and staffing needs. However, I'd like to share some important context. In the 10 years we've hosted the fest, we've never had safety incidents or required police intervention. The only assistance we've needed has been a logistical, helping locate car owners or towing vehicles during setup. And even last year, we didn't have that need at all for 2 of the events. Pyrex Fest is a daytime, family-friendly event with a calm, collected base crowd. While the footprint may be larger, the nature of the event has not changed. The proposed increase in police staffing would add significant costs that may not be necessary. We ask that you consider a reduced or on-call police presence that better reflects the event's proven history while still ensuring support if needed. We remain committed to working with the city and police department and are happy to reassess if circumstances change. Thank you again for your continued support of Pyrex Fest and for helping us create an event that brings visitors, revenue, and pride to Havre de Grace. Thank you.
Council, any questions for Ms. Forrester?
I don't have any questions, but I have comments. I love what you're doing with your shop and what you're doing. You're establishing a new business model for downtown because a lot of people, they put these shops in and they run them on banker's hours. And so like I work in Baltimore, I can't make it to a shop. Or the Sundays or Saturdays are closed, and I know that I can go in there and I can see you and talk to you. I mean, how long we've been working on trying to figure out my Pyrex percolator, but like you mentioned, reinvesting in the community, and your shop is just such a fabulous place, and you just got your food license for your stuff there, all the eclectic stuff, the different choices of everything you have in your shop, your Airbnb, everything you've done for downtown is fabulous. And I know for a fact that the Pyrex Festival is one of the mayor's favorite events that we have in town. So we really look forward to that, and I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you. I just really didn't want it to incur additional costs for the city if we really didn't feel that we've never had police presence all
Yeah.
day. I understand the footprint's larger, and we're happy to do whatever the police want us to do. I just want everyone to understand that it's a morning, afternoon event. And we really do hope to draw more vendors and have the restaurants participate. We're looking forward to making it a more well-rounded event, and that's been something the visitors have asked for.
Dr. Ritchie, could I ask you to remove the Pyrex Festival from the consent calendar so we can discuss it individually? Both items? And we can discuss the police presence there. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you very much, Jolene. And Council President's right, it is one of my favorite events of the year. I get sucked into collecting things I shouldn't be collecting, but Redskin glasses, Apollo glasses,
yeah.
the Ronald McDonald cups from the '80s, you know, all those stuff. It was like, but
Well,
you ever get a problem with people showing up with eye patches and peg legs? Because every time I say Pyrex Festival, they think I say Pirate Festival. Everyone thinks I'm saying Pirate Festival, so I don't know, but maybe we can be a great time to have a Pirate Festival and a Pirates Festival. That way nobody's wrong. But anyway,
We're missing our Pirate Festival.
I know we used to have a Pirate
used to have
Festival,
one.
and we should bring it back to the same time.
Got to
Anyway,
fire cannons, one of the scariest things I've ever done.
thank you for all your hard work. You run a class operation. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
as a former owner of a cookie shop, I want to say thanks for what you're doing, and I certainly appreciate the $8,000 being transferred over to the Alliance organization. Right, that's a moving force, and I appreciate that, and I did not miss that when you said it, so I appreciate that, Jolene. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call forward Ms. Carrie Parsons. Welcome, Mrs. Parsons. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Thank you, Mayor. Carrie Parson, Otsego Street here in Havre de Grace.
Welcome.
Council President, Council, regarding the upcoming ordinances that are going to be read into the record, one of them with the development rights responsibilities and the silver housing communities. With the silver housing communities, I just have a couple of concerns that maybe could be addressed a little bit later. How can we guarantee that this subdivision or any development, because it does talk about the infill lots, being used for older persons greater than 55? Currently, right now, there's a couple of potential loopholes that could be used in the age-restricted community to have them actually be questionable when they're filling out their declaration for the Fair Housing Act exemption, in that I will type them up and send them on over to Dr. Ritchie and to the rest of the body. But I think it's just something maybe we should expand upon a little bit more to maybe remove some loopholes that are in there, ensure that our seniors, if we're going to allow senior development into these lots, they're protected and they're not going to be taken advantage of. And on to another positive thing. Director of Public Works, Chief, Mayor, Council President, Dr. Ritchie, and to Mr. Conway, thank you. Your folks did, a lot of your DPW guys did a fantastic job, and I truly appreciate them during this snow event. We were outside trying to stay ahead of it. Our snowplow drivers were, they'd come past. You've been out a while, you need to go and warm up. Are you doing okay? Anytime I saw a police officer go past, they'd slow down, they'd stop, they'd ask, you guys doing okay? Need anything? That is truly a lot of great workers that we have for this city, and I thank them for everything that they did during this last event. It was nice to have them actually stop and say, are you okay? even though they're trying to, you know, do their job, but they were all out trying to do what is right to the citizens at the same time and check on them, knowing they're trying to keep on top of all of it. So thank you so much, and I'll send you the concerns I have, Dr. Ricky. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parsons. I'd like to call forward Mr. Al Pederoff. Good evening, Mr. Pederoff. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Al Pederoff, 937 Nina Avenue, Havre de Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, everyone else here. I just wanted to say something for you guys to think about for down the road. You all know me. I live here with my wife, Suzanne, run a real estate business. As founder and director of Cat Club, I've been on a mission to achieve a litter-free Havre de Grace for all to enjoy. For over 13 years, our volunteers have given countless hours to this city. I'm here tonight to look you all in the eye and ask that you give careful thought to something I consider extremely important. That is living up to our very special name, Havre de Grace. Generally speaking, I'm a strong advocate of private property rights, and I also recognize the importance of tax revenue. However, as you know, there are times when the common good must prevail. We all take great pride in our city, and we must now, for the sake of our future generations, stand together on a very important issue. So here's my thought process. So when you enter Harford County on I-95 northbound, take exit 74, you see a gas station. At exit 77, you see a truck stop, a hotel. Exit 80, fast food, hotels, gas stations. Exit 85, even more of the same. If you enter Maryland on I-95 from the Delaware line and take exit 109, you see a truck stop, fast food, and motel. At exit 100, you see a truck stop, liquor store, and hotel. At exit 93, you see a casino, truck stop, and hotel. You kind of get the trend. Continuing south, you cross the beautiful and mighty Susquehanna River with a panoramic view of our state's most important asset, the Chesapeake Bay. When you take exit 89, you see a unique name. The exit is positioned at an elevation that allows all of us to experience inspiring views as we all approach the place we call home. There's no real sign of commercial activity all the way to Route 40. You all know what I'm talking about. It's that special moment when you see the beautiful vistas coming down the hill. So when it comes to planning and zoning in this area, if we make the wrong decision, our grandkids may never know that serendipity. If we make the right decision, you will be proud and held in high esteem for generations to come. So now is the time to pursue safeguards to ensure this experience is relived day after day for all future generations. Give me 1 minute. We should be doing everything in our power to make sure that developers along Route 155 are unable to drastically change the landscape. In my opinion, pursuing conservation in this area will serve to further increase the value of all city properties and more than make up for any lost revenue. So I'm asking you to form a special committee to study this area thoroughly and come up with ideas that truly address everyone concerned, including the property owners. Mr. Mayor, you've made a tremendous lasting mark on this city. Thank you. In so many areas, mostly for the good. If there is one legacy that would be your crowning achievement, the one that will be remembered most by your family, friends, brothers, and citizens, the one decision that would tell the world forever that here in Havre de Grace we are truly striving to live up to our special name. That legacy would be ensuring the Route 155 approach to the city remains commercial-free. Perhaps we could find a grant to purchase the affected properties for natural reserve Or maybe the committee can come up with ideas that strike an appropriate balance. Whatever it is, I'm asking all of you to get on board and protect this amazing vista before it's too late. When you get this idea out to the public, you're going to find overwhelming support, guaranteed. So thank you for your time and for your service to our fine city. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. That concludes the 3 filled out forms I have. So please raise your hand if you wish to address council. Yes, ma'am. Welcome back, Miss Irmgard Brown.
Irmgard Brown, 623 Fountain Street. I wasn't going to say anything, but I just have this little minor thing. First of all, I want to thank you all for what you did during the Snowmageddon. I mean, it was amazing, right? I mean, really, really, you should be proud of what your teams did. However, I do have a little bone to pick in that I got a phone call, automated phone call, that said, if you can, please park off-street. You know, and I said, I'm going to be a good citizen, so I parked behind my house in my little parking pad, but guess what? That lane was never cleared. So I couldn't get out. And and I'm old. I hate to mention it, but it's true. And so it was a problem, you know, and it was only by the grace of a private owner who came by who had a plow on his truck that we were able to plow some of that lane. That little tiny lane has been asphalted by the city, which I was so grateful for. But the thing is I have asked several times if we would give that little lane right behind my house. And
Are you willing to share the name of the lane?
It doesn't have one, which is what I want. But and so I've been wanting to get that lane named. It's
Okay.
between Vandeman and what street is Adams Street. And it's the cutest little thing, and it could be called all kinds of fun things. But I also think that because of that, no one thinks of it in terms of, you know, clearing it. But anyway.
We did tell the snowplow drivers to go get that one street we don't know the name of.
Anyway, I appreciate you all, and I would love to have the lane named. We could call it Penny Lane. I've been mentioning that. But, and then we could have a big block party. But anyway, that would be lovely, but most of all, I want to, again, thank you for everything you did. But please do be aware when you ask people to you know, park off street. Yeah, we need your support for those little places as well. Thank you so much.
Sure, you got it. Thank you very much for telling us.
What's your main street?
A fountain, behind Fountain, the 600 block.
I was thinking off of Bourbon, but Fountain's one over, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Appreciate it. Thank you. Please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, sir. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the meeting. May you please have your name and address for record.
I'm James Dillon from 124 Flying Ebony Place.
Welcome.
I became a U.S. Marine days after turning 18 and served for roughly a quarter century. So I was 52 years old before finally having the chance to pick the city in which I lived. 52. I chose here, Havre Grace. Why? Because having been in D.C. for 20 years, having lived there for 20 years, the traffic impact was rather immediate. Having a nice view of the bay doesn't hurt. And yes, Bully Rock life often does imitate vacation. Most importantly, there was something that appeared different here. Here in Havre, I've experienced something increasingly endangered in other locales: common sense. Here, when issues arise, people gather together to work through them as friends, as neighbors, as partners in our society. So when it comes to collaborating in our community, I was happy to meet members of the Coalition for Sensible Development that formed a few months ago. Could members of the coalition who came here tonight please stand? We come from voting blocks to include Scenic Manor, Greenway Farms, Downtown, Grace Manor, Bully Rock, and elsewhere. This is a group of people who were used to seeing or being single voices in the proverbial political wilderness. Who've been seeking to help with issues like forest conservation, traffic, and local infrastructure, but who lacked critical mass to make a true impact. Some were surprised and relieved to find others who shared same passions, concerns, and most importantly, energy to help with development in our community. To be honest, I wasn't terribly surprised. As I found so often here, people come together to collaborate. But I am relieved by one point. Please note that we're called the Coalition for Sensible Development, not the Coalition for No Development. We could take a typical adversarial approach, one that could tie down development for any property for years. It's easy enough. I taught how to do this, and I did it with great success when I lived in DC. But that's not different. That's not why many people grew up here, and it's certainly not why I and many others moved here. We wanted something different. So why not continue with something that brings a little grace to Havre here? Different parties will have different focuses, of course. However, they're not mutually exclusive aims when people collaborate. You see a group of people here tonight ready to collaborate with you, with the city and developers in a smart, efficient way. I hope you'll choose to collaborate with us moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Welcome, stranger. Can we please have your name and address for the record?
Carol Zimmerman, 211B Seneca Way in Havre de Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you. Following on with James' remark, I'd like to say that the coalition, folks here today, come before you with a specific concern, and that is the nature of the development in the area of Route 155 and Bully Rock Parkway. And Al Padaroff already spoke about that, but I'd like to elaborate a little bit further. First of all, the coalition was gratified to learn that the Green family withdrew its Board of Appeals petitions for a gas station and a hotel at this intersection because the petitions raised serious concerns in the community, and they failed to provide the plans and information required under the city code. It could have resulted in a high-impact highway interchange development that is contrary to the interests of our community. And so what are those interests? In the words of the city's comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2025, the green property sits at a high point in the city and represents the gateway to Havre de Grace. And to quote further, nowhere else in Harford County or the region are the views as sublime as those descending from this interchange into the city of Havre de Grace. This is our gateway, and we want to ensure that the continued experience is a complementary one that recognizes the important national history here and holds the majestic nature of the terrain and high value. Overall, sensitive, integrated design is key to honoring the landmark and the remarkable beauty of the Upper Bay terrain, end quote. Interested citizens are rightly concerned that this area will not live up to our aspirations if we continue down the current path of development in this important part of the city. So the coalition has suggestions for how the city government might address our concerns about development in the Gateway area. First of all, we need to avoid being reactive. The petitions of the Board of Appeals for a gas station and hotel on the green property is a good example of reactivity. The city and citizens want to wait to see what the developer proposes, and then we react. In this case, the petition was lacking the necessary detail for both the Board of Appeals and citizens to really know what we would be getting if the petitions were approved. An alternative approach is to be proactive, not wait to see what the developer comes up with, but instead find ways to guide the process to get the best outcome. And I'm going back to my seat because I lost a page. Sorry about that. So let's be collaborative. The city government and citizens could work with the developer so that he and the community benefit. We could also take a more comprehensive view. We don't need to be just piecemeal focusing on the green property, but the whole Gateway area could be included. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Yes. Yep.
I apologize. I want to clarify a couple things. First off, thank you for everybody who came. That's so awesome. I love that we have the personal investment in the city of Havre de Grace for people who want to stop the development. Not necessarily stop, but have reasonable development, I understand. I as well, I'm a hunter, first off. I used to hunt those fields. I definitely don't want development going on there. But I want to point out something that I think, I lament the fact that there are short-sightedness on the people that came for the, you can come up, I'm sorry, for the Board of Appeals about the development up there, about the gas station and a possible hotel. It's because that's in the RB district, residential business district, on that side of Bully Rock Parkway, which means that it's limited by conditional use, meaning that we set conditions on what they want, what they can do. Across the street, now that's what's going to happen, is they're going to go across the street, which is MOE, mixed office, and that's allowed by right, meaning that we cannot restrict them in our current zoning that we have. And that's one of the issues we have is by putting these roadblocks in front of the developer on the RB side, is that now we have fewer stopgaps in allowing them to develop. So I encourage everybody to come to our planning meetings, to come to our Board of Appeals, and to have a more active involvement in our comprehensive plan so we can move forward with what everybody wants. Because there's nobody up here who really wants, like, the last undeveloped interchange in Maryland to have a bunch of gas stations. We don't want a Buc-ee's up there, which I think a Buc-ee's locally would be pretty cool, but not in Havre, but something like that. But I think we missed the mark with some sort of short-sightedness, and that putting the stopgaps in front of the group that wanted to have a conditional use, and now saying, well, you know, you can go across the street on the hospital property where it's allowed by right, where we don't have the right to restrict you. So I think we can work together with a little bit better understanding of what we have with the planning director, and try to figure out a better way forward. But I want you to understand that now, by not allowing them to go where it's conditional use, it allows them to go where it's allowed by right. It's unfortunate, so something we can all work together and try to find a better plan for. I hope I explained that well.
Hi, welcome. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Hi, Tammy Coit, 1724 Scenic Manor Drive, Havre de Grace. And thank you. This kind of goes along with what you were saying and what James and Carol were saying. So the Coalition for Sensible Development in Havre de Grace proposes that the city take a proactive approach to engage both the landowners of the developable land in the Gateway area and the public in planning and design process. The city has experience in successfully applying a collaborative approach to future developments. One example is the city-sponsored envisioning study for the site of the former Hartford Memorial Hospital. It included public participation sessions that identified areas of consensus on density and design. The results of that study have helped inform private development plans that are now underway for that site. Another example of collaboration is the city's downtown revitalization project that featured fully engaged public participation. The result is a downtown with excellent improvements for the RB zone based on principles of walkability and well-landscaped downtown streets. A proactive, collaborative approach, which it sounds like you are in favor of, should be applied to the Gateway area as well, where opportunities exist to consider a range of parameters such as types of businesses, architecture, landscaping, lighting, and traffic patterns. Let's not lose this opportunity to achieve a plan that addresses the needs of and provides benefits to all parties. So for developers, they will achieve business objectives and have community support for what gets built. The city will achieve development in harmony with its goals and the comprehensive plan while adding new businesses to the tax base. Citizens will continue to enjoy the beauty and significance of that Gateway area while also having the convenience of businesses they want. Thus, we urge our elected officials to take seriously the concerns of the coalition that we bring to you tonight. We want to believe that you share these concerns. I think you shared just now that you do. And if so, let's not move on with business as usual. Let's find a path forward so that the Gateway area can live up to its promise for people who live and vote here now and those who will make Havre de Grace their home in the future. And I think we, with what you shared, Mr. Rinsaker, would appreciate knowing more about how we could have some influence or hearing more about that zoning and if it's up for being changed at all or if that's too late in the game, so.
I encourage you to go on the Havre de Grace City webpage, and you click on government, and then you bring up your elected officials. All their phone numbers and email addresses are
We are
there.
familiar with that page.
You guys can
Thank
reach out to
you.
me anytime,
Yeah.
and I'm more than happy. A man who actually knows a lot about planning here in the city is Mr. Chip Place right there.
We know,
And he's good on that, and we've got a lot of good people here that definitely help, and I encourage you guys, because I'm on your side, 100%.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and we are really looking forward for like partnership and some transparency. Sometimes it feels like it's kind of the decision's already been made, so we do appreciate that collaborative effort. Thank you.
I was just having a conversation with Shane Grimm, who's our former
Oh,
director,
Shane.
and he joked that I made a quote years and years ago that the behemoth of government is less than nimble, and I swear I'm gonna have that put on my gravestone because yeah, it's tough just getting government to work collaboratively.
Yeah, and Shane was great. He would come out, put some lawn chairs down, and just talk to anyone about anything.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Boyd, you have
Yeah,
something?
I did. If you don't mind coming back to the podium? I just want to like rephrase and make sure that I'm understanding like the concept that you have. Aside from having charrettes for discussion, asking not just your organization,
Yeah.
but the larger community, not just the community of the people on the Hill, but also the community downtown, having everyone involved, right?
Yes.
And you foresee an area that there are still resources on those parcels, but those resources would be designed in such a way that would allow the scenic vista that currently is there to be at the forefront versus, you know, like 50-foot signs saying park here kind of thing, correct? That's what we're doing?
Like, we understand, as is our name, that there's going to be development, right? We can't block that entirely. We want sensible development. So in this issue, that's what we are asking for.
Kind of like the Columbia, Maryland approach, potentially is what is the mind's eye of what the organization is seeing?
Yes, and I would encourage anyone else who wants to speak to do so as well from our coalition. But we just want to be a part of the decision, you know, some
Well,
collaboration.
all the communities up there, not just
Yes.
your organization, but all the communities as part of the
Yes.
conversation.
And just to clarify, the coalition is made up already of many, many different.
I mean,
and this is
your
a-
neighborhood in particular is
Yeah.
one that's been deeply impacted
Yeah.
by all of the development up on the Hill and
has,
the
and
lack
we
of
don't need-
resources
I
up
could
on
be
the
up here and
Hill.
talk about the power grid for another 3 minutes, but that's not what I came here tonight for. But yes, absolutely. And I love that everyone, and this is just a small sampling of the Coalition for Sensible Development. We meet regularly. It's a pretty large group that represents a variety of communities and neighborhoods. So I really do appreciate that collaborative effort. And again, it's not meant to be adversarial, just really collaborative so that we're all bought into the same city and vision, no pun intended, but yes.
Well, I also want to encourage people, another good way to get involved and to make change is to be on commissions. And that's a good way to get your voice heard very impactfully. You have to be judicial in the way that you do it, but it is a very good part. And street and traffic safety and other committees are key places where we need people to step forward. So please encourage people to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Welcome, and may we please have your name and address for record?
Sure, Mayor. Chip Place, 301 Cigar Loop. Good evening, Mayor, council members, senior staff, and council president in particular. Thank you for the shout out there. I was on a commission once too, by the way, you know. I wanted to point out something very specific to your recommendation, Council President. If you look at the comprehensive plan and the actions under the land use section on page 2-17, it specifically says, commission site-specific, form-based integrated planning for the development of new or revised zoning classifications for areas of the city, much like the effort performed at the Hartford Memorial Hospital site. And then it specifically says, areas for this level of study include, but are not limited to, the MOE zone, which you just referenced, at the I-95 Maryland 155 interchange, and which, you know, includes the greater Gateway area up there, which includes the green property, And it also recommends, Tranquility Home Site, downtown Main Street. So the comprehensive plan, which you all adopted, recommends this kind of planning effort. And again, even if you look back at the concept plan for Scion Hill, Shane Grimm, in his report, recommended the pursuit of new urbanism type development, the kind of development that our RB zone downtown typifies, mix of use, walkable streets, that whole thing. So you've already done this before with the downtown revitalization, with the downtown hospital site. This is an opportunity to do it again, because it could go very badly. It was on a path to go very badly. I mean, we weren't even following the code in what was required of the developer in terms of specificity of the uses that were proposed. There was no site plans, there was nothing. That could have opened the door to a huge Buc-ee's, as one of the Board of Appeals members said, or some other large development. So this is a way to forestall that, to get ahead of it, as the coalition has suggested. Be proactive, actively shape the future of this important part of town. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the floor is open. Who wishes to address the council? Any comments from council members? Before we move on the agenda, I'm actually happy to meet more people who belong to the Coalition for Sensible Development. I've met a few of them. I know Ms. Zimmerman's come in my office with some folks before. We talked a little bit, but some of you might not be aware there's a very similar group that formed about 11 years ago that has the same mission statement as all of you have here today. But it doesn't go by the name Committee or Coalition for Sensible Development. It goes by a different name. It goes by the name the Martin Administration, which is one of the reasons I ran in 2015. When you campaign to run for mayor, it's probably in your best interest if you don't talk about the negative and you focus on the positive. And so when I ran for mayor, I politicked on all the good things I wanted to do. But secretly, there was a lot of things I didn't like about how the city of Havre Grace was laid out. A lot of problems. Communities with very poor ingress and egress. Roads that are just not meeting any kind of county standard minimums, like Grace Manor behind Weiss. Housing density, lot widths. There's a lot of things that happened over a course of 30 years in Havre Grace where people were just hodgepodge and putting communities together, roads and developments. And I knew when I swore to myself when I become mayor that I would do the best I could to make sure that moving forward, the city of Havre Grace would do everything properly. And what I mean by properly is by the book. The problems we faced because things weren't done by the book. Road codes weren't followed, road widths, lot sizes, setbacks, things like that. I know every American has the same feeling. Like, you just feel like the government doesn't know what they're doing and we're all pushovers for developers. I get that. I feel the same way. Mention the word Hartford County, we can talk about it all day long. I get it. So I'm not offended when people's natural instinct is, hey, you better be paying attention. You guys don't know what you're doing. You got to pay attention. I get that. If we were pushovers, there'd be a shopping center up at the interchange with a hospital that was never built, with millions of dollars of road improvements that we would have paid for, because that's what Upper Chesapeake wanted. They wanted us to pay for all the road improvements. They wanted to start with the retail first, and I'll tell you what, that was a Trojan horse. They would have put the retail there, and they still would have put the hospital in Aberdeen. But we stood our ground, and we didn't let them do it. Of course, we got beat up by everybody. Havre Grace is not business friendly, blah, 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 blah. We lost the hospital. Yeah, we lost a hospital. Hospital wasn't coming here. But we stood our ground. If we're pushovers, there'd be high-density, high-rise apartments right now where the hospital is. But we stood our ground. No one individual, no group of people, no body of government is perfect. And I welcome input. I welcome collaboration with everybody in this room. A lot of people have good ideas. The only reason I'm saying what I'm saying is I just want to assure people that we're willing to work together because we're all here for the same mission. There's only one Havre Grace. Council President, what was the first thing I told you when you got on council?
That it's your duty to protect the assets of the citizens of Havre de Grace.
Correct, sir. Thank you. Our job is to protect the assets of the city of Havre de Grace, not just give them away. But Ms. Zimmerman said something very prophetic, and something her and I talked about. Avoid being reactive. It just always seems like it's like, well, you know, it's always after the fact that someone's permitted by law to do something that everyone gets upset. Be proactive, and if you see something in the city zoning laws that you think, hey, there's a piece of land that's not developed, or someone could buy that old building, tear it down, and put that there, it's allowed, and if you don't want it, come to a council member or say something. That's where we're going to work together, because it's the zoning laws in this country. If you're permitted by right to do something, you're permitted by right. That's what makes America America. It's property rights. So being proactive is the best way to approach it. If you see something that you don't want to happen in the future, that's where we got to talk about how we want it to look. So anyway, didn't mean to get on a big, soapbox here. I just wanted everyone in the room to know we're with you. We're happy to work with you. The reason you're here tonight is the same reason I've served the city for 11 years as mayor, is not to do screw-ups and have more mistakes, down the road. So look forward to working with you. Thank you for being here tonight and speaking. With that said, we're going to move on to the rest of our agenda. Item 7, appointments. This evening, we have no appointments. Item 8, recognitions. This evening, we have no recognitions. Item 9, proclamations. We have no proclamations this evening. Item 10, presentations. We have no presentations. Item 11, resolutions. We have a resolution, and I want to hand that off to the council president.
Well, Mr. Mayor, everybody here is in favor of our zoning, so I will move to introduce a calendar resolution concerning expressing formal opposition to Senate Bill 325 for House Bill 548, Maryland Housing Certainty Act, for adoption.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by the council president, second by Councilmember Shenagus. Questions or comments on the introduction of this resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce calendar resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be known as Calendar Resolution 2026-03, 2026-3. A resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the city charter to express formal opposition to Senate Bill 325 and House Bill 548, the Maryland Housing Certainty Act. Council, do I have a motion to adopt Calendar Resolution 2026-03?
So moved.
Second. Casey.
Councilmember Boyer, and second by the council president. Questions or comments? Council president.
This is another attempt by the current seating of the Maryland House of Delegates to restrict our autonomy in zoning for the city. And I'd like to have comment from our legislative aide, if I may.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. House Bill 548 and its counterpart in the Senate does three main things. First, once you submit an application for your project, you're considered vested for 5 years. So right now, the rule in Maryland is basically you have to move some dirt around or shovel in the ground test. So that shifts from visible site work to filing your application. Second, once you file that application, the local government can't attempt to change the zoning laws. So kind of speaking to the point that we were just making here, someone submits the application, we realize this doesn't really meet the needs of the community, well, you're stuck because they filed a complete application or almost complete application. And then the third thing it does is it shifts our ability to collect fees from the residential building permit to the UNO, which means you can only collect your fees after the project's completed, which is a complete nightmare for budgetary purposes. Mm-hmm. That's all I have.
All right, thank you so much for the explanation.
So just so that people have a perspective of what that means, let's look at a couple of projects that have happened in Havre de Grace. Greenway Farms has been in a permit stats, like what would be the distance of time there for some of those houses? What's the longest period of time?
Between building permit and UNO? That's a tough question. Jeff, do you have any sense of that?
Like a time frame from when
Yeah,
you
what
get
is
your
the
permit?
longest time frame from permit to UNO?
I'm not sure about the longest, but typical is 4 to 6 months for the inspection process, construction inspections.
4 to 6 months from permit to UNO?
From like issuance through construction through inspections, like a 4 to 6 month time frame is pretty typical. But I don't know what the longest potentially
Is that
could
what
be.
it is? Is it just for like permit for a specific house, or is it for like a development?
It's for specific homes. So usually, like, we collect the $25,000 now. You would have to wait till UNO to collect that.
I know for my house specifically, it was a little over 2 years.
It could be. Now, typically, they want to sell that home and get people in there as fast as possible after building them. But it does change our processing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, council. We're going to do a roll call vote on County Resolution 2026-03. Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Schnegas?
Yes.
Councilmember Booker?
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, Calendar Resolution 2026-03 is adopted by council. We're going to go to item 12, ordinances. And this evening we have 2 ordinances, both first readers. And Councilmember Jones, first ordinance is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce an ordinance concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning by adding new Article 11A titled Silver Housing Communities in the first reading.
Second?
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Schnegas. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce the ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, this will be known as Ordinance 1217-1217, an order by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution and the Land Use Article Sections 7-302, parenthesis B, and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend City Code Chapter 205 zoning by adding a new Article 11A titled Silver Housing Communities. Council, to have a motion to adopt Ordinance 1217 on first reading.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Schnegas. Questions or comments?
The purpose of this article is to implement the aging in place visions of the 2025 Comprehensive Plan. So the article establishes zoning standards and a discretional legal framework to facilitate the development of age-restricted housing that meets the needs of senior residents while remaining compatible with the city's historic code.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Jones, any other questions or comments? Council President?
I encourage everybody to come here Wednesday, right here. It's going to be a tight fit because we're fitting both the everybody up here, and then the Planning Commission will be here to discuss this and the future development of the hospital property.
Thank you.
6 o'clock Wednesday.
Councilmember Boyer?
So one of the big things I see as far as changing our approach on things is the parking. So it's saying that each house that fits this age-restricted community, silver housing, will have 1.5 parking spaces. And what is our current per unit is 3, right? So that's half of the amount. I would just like to hear public comment about whether you feel that's reasonable or not. I know my mom is 80, and there are 2 cars in her, like her and a roommate. I mean, I just can't imagine. And I personally like occasionally being able to park to go see my mom. So it's just one of the things I have a concern about, and I'd like to hear feedback from people.
So most of the homes in question, especially with 57 homes looking at the hospital property on the 99 acres, they will all have garages. and then with driveways as well. But one of the things about age-restricted housing is it reduces the necessity for extra housing. Like my house, I've got 4 cars and a motorcycle. So it's a little bit tougher with the kids and everybody else, but with age-restricted, 55 plus, you're not necessarily going to have the younger members there. Like, take a look at St. John's Tower. They don't necessarily have the necessity for the extra parking because they are age-restricted.
I get that.
I understand.
I
No,
fully
but coming to visit,
understand
I get that.
My issue is, we're going from 3 to 1.5, and again, public comment about that, and just personal concern about, like, where do you go to park to visit? Is it going to be a situation like in Bully Rock where they don't allow parking on the street? I mean, it's a real thing. So, I mean, how are we going to, do we need to add something in there that says that they can't restrict parking on the street?
Well, that'd be something we can discuss on Wednesday with the
Right,
developer.
that's why I thought public comment on that would be, especially for people who live up in the Bully Rock area, and to see how that honestly works. I mean, do you really get people towed if they're coming to visit you and you don't have any parking spots? I don't know how that works. So, that's it, thank you.
Our former director, immediately before Jeff, wanted it reduced to 0.3 per home.
I'm just happy that I finally qualified for it. It's 55 years. Thank you very much.
Beautiful gray hair, Johnny.
For 1,500 square foot, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much, Council. We're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1217.
For introduction.
Councilmember Shenagis,
Yes.
Councilmember Boker,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1217 is adopted on first reading. Public hearing will be at the next council meeting, February 17th at 7 o'clock, which is a Tuesday, because of the President's Day is on Monday. It's a federal holiday, so the next council meeting is a Tuesday. Public hearing on this ordinance will be at the next council meeting at 7 o'clock. Item B, Councilmember Jones.
I move to introduce an ordinance concerning amending Chapter 205 zoning by adding new Article 14 titled Development Rights and Responsibilities in the first reading.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilmember Jones and a second by Councilmember Shenagis. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion to introduce the ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the Land Use Articles, Section 7-302, parentheses B, and the Local Government Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend City Code Chapter 205 zoning by adding a new Article 14 titled Development Rights and Responsibility Agreements. Council, this will be ordinance 1218, 1218. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1218?
Second.
Motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Councilmember Jones.
Yes, I'd like to ask council to speak on this a little bit.
Thank you, Councilmember Jones, Mayor and Council. This ordinance, I worked with Mr. Rybczynski on this, developing this ordinance. This is a tool that is available to municipalities and zoning authorities, where municipalities have adopted zoning authority, to provide greater flexibility in subdivision approvals. And what it does is it allows, by agreement, it can't be forced on a developer, but by agreement with the developer, the city can direct the development in a way that is more suited to the community. So it actually gives the city more flexibility to kind of do some give and take, and maybe in some instances get some enhanced public benefits, And also maybe have discussions on how we want things to look, public spaces, things like that. So it gives us more flexibility outside of the regular Planning Commission and/or Board of Appeals approvals to approve subdivisions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ishak. Councilmember Jones, any further comments?
No, Mayor, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1218 on first reading. Councilmember Boker,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1218 passes on first reading. And we're going to do the public hearing on this ordinance also at the next council meeting at February 17th at 7 o'clock. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go on with the agenda. Item 13, old business. This evening we have no old business. Item 14, special new business. We have 4 special events. And Council President, it's my understanding you want to do consent calendar except for the...
For 1 and 4, please. And then do 2 and 3 together.
Okay. River Sweep and the Art Show. Dr. Ritchie?
Thank you, Mayor. Council, for your consideration on the consent calendar, we have 2 events. We have River Sweep 2026 to be held April 25th from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Tidings Park, including the gazebo, and then clean up throughout the city. And then we have the 63rd Havre de Grace Art Show on October 17th and 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Tidings Park, including the gazebo and swale, and also Concord Point Park. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. Council, adopt a river sweep in the Havre de Grace Art Show.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The river sweep for April 25th and the Havre de Grace Art Show for October 17th and 18th. Both events are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Items 2 and 3, the Pyrex Festival for April and September. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, we have the Pyrex and Vintage Fest. They're both the same event, but 2 different dates. So we have April 25th, 2026, and we have September 26th, 2026. And both of them will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Pennington Avenue between Lodge Lane and St. John Street, and the 100 and 200 block of North Washington Street. And in your packets, you will see towards the end the breakout for the costs of DPW and the PD. I do not believe that any request has been made to the sponsor of the event to reimburse the city for any of those expenses related to the police department. That would obviously be up to the city council if they wish to impose something like that or not on the event.
So if I get clarification, sir, I apologize, Mr. Mayor, thank you. We're not actually asking for reimbursement for the police?
Correct. We have not requested that.
Are you okay with that? I mean, if I can ask Joe to come up and speak again, thank you.
I think it's wonderful that the city, pays for the extra labor and the events that benefit a lot of the businesses downtown and different nonprofits. And if the police department really truly feels that 4 officers are necessary in the larger footprint, we've never done the event to that size. We were in the 200 block last year because of construction in the spring and on Pennington. We didn't, the barricades have always been good enough in the past, but we are hoping to have a larger event. We're kind of running a little late in getting the application in to generate the interest and get as many vendors as possible. So it's truly up to the city and the police department, I guess, to decide if they think 4 officers are needed. My only concern was I didn't really want the city to incur that cost if it wasn't necessary.
Right. How many participants would you expect with this larger footprint? What is your goal to?
We usually have about 60 vendors. I'm not sure that the vendors will grow that much larger, but we hope to have the restaurants pop out on the street. And I do have a band from Virginia that has requested to play.
What would you estimate foot traffic? How many souls?
2,000 people. I mean, it could be larger this year because of the 10th year anniversary. I'm so busy inside working that I don't always see the head count.
So I don't have a problem with us investing the time of 4 officers to protect 2,000 people at a site. I think it's a good use of money, and it's a positive event for the community. So I'm in concurrence. I don't see it as being out of line. Thank you.
Councilor Janegas.
Yes. Hi there. I think it's great. I think expanding and also celebrating your event is wonderful. I was curious as to how much buy-in you have already from the local restaurants, and if they would be doing outdoor events where drinking would be included, where that's where more of a greater concern would be for the police protection.
Because I wasn't sure if I would get the larger footprint approved, I hadn't really approached them yet. I thought that Battery Island, because they would be in that footprint, might want to do their little bump out area. Our event does start really early in the morning and is winding down by 2 or 3, 4 o'clock. So I'm not really, it's never been a drinking event. We've never had any alcohol before. But with Cooper's being open by then, I'm hoping, yes, that they would participate by putting out tables. And the wine bar has in the past set up in the back of their area. So we typically have 1 or 2 food trucks on Lower Pennington. And we do have commitment for at least one of those right now. And the band is something new. We've done more of a DJ thing with Zodiac Records in the past. They would still be doing that during breaks, but midday, just a couple sets, just to make it special.
Thank you very much for your bravery and expanding, and congratulations on your 10 years going forward with this event.
Council President.
So I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I was going to make a motion, but I'll let you speak.
How do we know we need 4? Chief.
So the special event application was reviewed by Captain Terry. He discussed it with me. Just based on history of different events and the size of the footprint, that's what we believe is going to be an adequate number for this event. We don't anticipate any problems, but you have 4 major traffic posts that are spaced out, and so 2 officers would have a hard time. And that was the discussion that Jolene and I had prior to the council meeting. 2 officers, it's just too much for them to keep an eye on things. So that's what we suggested, and then that would be if things were needed, like there were problems or whatever, then those 4 officers would be supplemented by patrol officers that are working the street. So.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the events, both events, with the policing being at the discretion of Officer Terry and the chief. And and this is part of my motion, if you do serve alcohol, come back for an amended application. I don't have a problem with that, but it will have to be amended because on the application it says no alcohol.
We wouldn't be serving it, though.
Oh, yeah, that's
would
fine.
the Battery Island just request a?
But if they're going to have it on the street, I mean, if they're going to be open, they're going to be open. They've already got their liquor license. But if they're going to be on the street as part of the event, they need to be under the application.
Would they get their own approval for that, or do I need to come back for that? Wouldn't it just
Usually
be
it's
like?
part of the event.
Part of the event, yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I mean, you got time.
Listen, you can walk in here and just ask for an amendment, and we can pass it, like,
okay, well, I guess I will have that conversation to see if they're even interested.
but I make the motion that we allow the event.
Second.
Second.
We have a
That's plural.
motion by the council president, seconded by Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved, 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to item 15, Director's Report, and we're going to go to Director of Administration, Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, colleagues, fellow citizens. So as Council President actually mentioned earlier, but I did want to reiterate this under my comments, on Wednesday, February 4th at 6 p.m., right here in the council chambers, there will be a joint session of the Mayor and City Council and the Havre de Grace Planning Commission. A presentation from Trademark Custom Homes will be made, as well as reviewing the 2 ordinances that were introduced tonight. The public is invited to attend and observe this joint session. And once again, that's Wednesday at 6 p.m. So on Valentine's Day, the Star Center is presenting a candlelight evening of Broadway with Chris Pinella at 7 p.m. And also, this is exciting, courtesy of the Star Center, you have the exclusive privilege to purchase tickets and be within 1 degree of Kevin Bacon. That's right. The Bacon brothers are coming to Havre de Grace on July 18th at 8 p.m. The tickets have only been on sale for 2 weeks, and they're about a third sold already. They're going fast. So if you'd like tickets, going through the Star Center website, starcentermd.com, is the only way to ensure that you receive authentic Star Center event tickets. We do not sell tickets on reseller sites. I'm not sure what he's going to sing, but yeah. The 2026 Langston Hughes Youth Oratorical Contest is this Saturday, February 7th at 1 p.m. at the Opera House. It is free to attend, and you can get your tickets to that event and all other Opera House events at hdgoperahouse.org. And then you can check out all of the amazing events coming up in our beautiful city on explorehavredegrace.com. But I would like to close my comments this evening, reiterate a little bit of praise that we heard at the beginning of the council meeting during citizen comments. But I do want to thank the police department and Public Works for all of the work that they did during the storm and all of the work that they continue to do over the days and weeks ahead to keep us safe and get the roads completely open. I think it's really important to note that in addition to all of the snow and ice, Public Works has also had 2 water main breaks that they've had to repair in these frigid temperatures. And the commitment of the men and women who work on these crews in the Public Works Department is commendable, and I personally am very grateful to them. So I do thank them for all the work that they've been doing. And that concludes my comments for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the comments, Dr. Ritchie, and we're going to go to our Director of Planning, Mr. Goins. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So for the month of January, we had 37 permits that were applied for, and 19 were new construction. 2 of those were single-family detached homes in Bully Rock, 4 in Scion Hill, 3 townhomes in Bully Rock, and then 10 townhomes in Greenway Farms. We also had 2 renovations and additions, and then 16 what we call other permits, things like solar panels, fences, patios, demolitions, and other ancillary permits. And then, as I mentioned last month, we do not have any items on our Board of Appeals or Planning Commission for this month, so those meetings will be canceled. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goins. Appreciate the update. And we're going to go to Ms. Johnson, who's our Director of Economic Development and Tourism. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens in the audience and at home. A few updates for this evening. Currently, we have 21 groups participating in the Mardi Gras Parade. Our goal is 30 groups and or floats for this year. If you're interested in being in the parade, you can download the application on explorehavredegrace.com. on the Events tab or call Lori at the Visitor Center, 410-939-2100. We are accepting applications until February 10th. The parade is Tuesday, February 17th, starting at 6 p.m. If you need additional details, you can find that information on explorehavertygrace.com or on our Facebook and Instagram page, which is also Explore Haverty Grace. Tomorrow, Lori and I are attending the 30th Annual Philadelphia Gift Show. We use this opportunity to review and research merchandise that we sell in the Visitor Center. As I keep everyone up to date and as we enter the budget cycle, I will give an update on the merchandise that we have sold in the past year, and we are doing very well. March, we will have a new look to the explorehavertygrace.com page. We're adding new pictures, increasing the functionality of the page by adding new tabs and making it easier for users to find information, particularly the events. They can be a little difficult sometimes, so we'd like to ease that process for the users. We are also in the process in the department of creating a new newsletter to replace the quarterly business beat. The newsletter will be released on a monthly basis to include citywide projects and news, economic development, tourism, and Main Street projects and events. The estimated launch date is April 2026. The department is also researching firms that specialize in transportation apps. We are seeking to create an app for the Tide Trolley to show you where the trolley is at any given time and when it will arrive at the next bus stop. The parking app will show the location of public parking spaces. I know that other departments have looked at this in the past. We are working with the ambassador of the trolleys. This is something that the community has been asking for. There are two organizations in the state of Maryland that really specialize in this type of technology. So we're going to be working with them hopefully through an RFP process to see if they could bring that technology to the city of Haverty Grace. Last but not least, we did have a business open in downtown. It's at 330 St. John Street. It's called Treatment Room Aesthetics. It's across from McGregor's. It opened up a few months ago quietly because they did not want a ribbon cutting, but I just wanted to formally welcome them to the city of Haverty Grace. And in addition, we have a business opening up at 320 St. John Street. It will be a frozen dessert store. We don't have the name yet, but we've been working closely with our planning department. That would be Marissa and Jeff, and I'm getting the proper permits for this business. And that concludes my report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. Appreciate the thorough update. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we're going to go to the Director of Finance, Mr. Abdi. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members and citizens of Haverty Grace. I'll be going over the financial condition of our three major funds, starting with the general fund first. The fund balance since last reporting is down $630,600, with the fund balance currently standing at $7,549,700. The beginning revenue to date is up since my last reporting, $441,900. It currently stands over a little over $18.4 million. In terms of the expenditure side, it is up a little over $1 million. Expenditures to date is in terms of to date 13.6 million. In terms of the other fund, water and sewer fund, the fund balance since my last reporting is down a little over 1.6 million. The fund balance currently stands at 5,474,500. Revenues to date is up 224,500. With total revenues to date standing over a little over 8.1 million. In terms of the expenditure side, it is up since the last reporting, 1.8 million, with expenditures to date standing over 7.3 million. In terms of the, in terms of the final fund, the Marina Fund, since my last reporting, it is down $1,200, with the fund balance currently standing over $1,275,200. Revenues are up $7,800. With revenues to date, $681,900. In terms of the expense side, it is up since my last reporting, a little over $9,000. With expenditures to date, $353,400. That concludes my fund obligations. Fund statuses for my 3 funds. Back to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdi. Appreciate the report. Thank you. We're going to go to the Director of Public Works. Guess you've been kind of bored lately, so take your time. Mr. Conaway.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, colleagues, and guests. As everybody's well aware of, Mother Nature threw Havre de Grace a triple whammy last weekend. About 9 inches of snow, 8.5 hours of continuous sleet, which I've never seen that ever in my entire life. And then frigid temperatures, definitely made the snow plow operation much more difficult than it normally is. So that being said, the DPW crews last week, they worked 12-hour shifts through Friday. This week, they will continue to open travel lanes, help people, where their mailboxes have got snowed in, plowed in, clear and catch basins in the hope that this stuff will eventually melt. April, probably. But, yeah, so like I said, this will be ongoing probably all this week, well into next week, and it may even be farther than that. So we'll just play it by ear, just, doing everything we can. Like the big concentration last week with school buses and whatnot, make sure that's all good to go. And Dr. Ritchie, thank you very much for the kudos, especially, the snowplow crews and specifically the water guys. I remember many years ago, I was part of that crew, and I can't describe how much misery that is when you're doing a water main in the wintertime and it's 18 degrees and the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. So yeah, we're fortunate to have a good group, and tomorrow I'm gonna treat them to pizza lunch. So, and that concludes my report.
Sure.
So many of us have attempted to break through the ice to try to make things just a little bit better for the sidewalks, et cetera, with very little success. What is your professional recommendation of things we can do? Like, salt is really not gonna work. What can we do? What's reasonable? What can we look out for?
Councilmember Boyer, I mean, honestly, because of the temperatures and what happened after the snow fell, it's pretty much a waiting game right now because it's so frozen. It's going to take probably, to make any headway with your sidewalks, you're probably going to look at least 4 or 5 days above freezing weather, and then you can kind of make some progress. But right now, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature. So.
Yes.
What plans are you making, thinking about this snow melting? Because that's going to be a lot of water.
Yeah, that's why we'll go through and clear all the catch basins, so the melting snow has somewhere to go. That's the main thing right there, is to keep them clear.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Good evening, Chief.
Mayor, I have good news. We're 9 days away from the Orioles pitchers and catchers reporting. So, I mean, that is the sign of spring right there.
Yeah, it is, man.
So
preach it.
9 days. I'm extremely proud of the PD and the officers responding to all the different events that took place during the snow. And kudos, I know it's been said many times, but the DPW, we were calling them just as much as the citizens were calling and everybody else. And I think if DPW was an Olympic event, I would give those guys the gold medal. So anyway, the one thing that I wanted to mention was, Councilmember Boyer had mentioned it about the sidewalks. You see a lot of people that have to walk in the street. Please use caution And if you are walking in the street, please try to remember, wear something bright and, try to, make it that you can warn some people that you're out there. And I know we're all trying to do our best, so just patience for everybody. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Chief. Appreciate it. Now we are going to go to comments from council members, and we're going to start off with Councilmember Jones.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Council, directors, citizens in the audience, and citizens at home. Happy Black History Month. 2026 marks 100 years of honoring this history in the U.S. And if you're looking for something to do this month, Dr. Ritchie talked about the Langston Hughes Oratory Contest, which is happening this weekend. And then also the Harford County NAACP is sponsoring their annual Civil Rights Tour on February 28th from 8 to noon. I also know that there are a couple of things that the high schools are doing that are going to be open to the public, and as I get that information, I'll share that with you as well. I want to give a shout out to the Havre Grace Fire Department. I was watching the news and I saw that they rushed to the aid of some animals at Hannibal Farm, and that was just really exciting. I was like, I know those people, and it was just great to see the community come together to save those animals and to really pitch in for that community. And then I also want to just give a shout out to DPW, again, Susquehanna Hose, the police department. I can only imagine the level of work, and we were texting and texting with Dr. Ritchie, and everyone was texting us, I'm sure, but you all did a fantastic job in making sure the city was cleaned up and out, and I just really want to commend all of your departments for that work. And then lastly, I want to just congratulate the Youth Commission for another great event. They had an event on January 31st that was very well attended. They've been doing some great things these last couple of months to get into the community more, and so I wanted to commend them for that work. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. We're going to go to comments from Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to start off with a thank you to DPW and to the police department for keeping an eye out. I was shoveling out front of my house, and a police officer drove by, and then he backed up, and he's like, "Can I help you with a little bit?" I'm like, absolutely. And that was a lot of help, and I was really appreciative. I don't even think he knew who I was, honestly, as I was shoveling it, so kudos. I want to let everybody know that the Green Team is going to have a volunteer celebration. It's going to be at Concord Coffee from 9 to noon on the 7th of Saturday. It's a great opportunity to come and get to know the Green Team and some of the key projects that are going on and ways that you can get involved and help. You know, Havre Grace is a participation-oriented community, and if you want something done, that means you got to roll up your sleeves and do it. So we need a couple of people to join in and a couple of amazing projects that are going on with the Green Team, and we'll discuss it over coffee or tea. So this weekend, this Saturday the 7th at Concord Coffee, compliments of the Green Team. And I also want to let everybody know, I heard that the Susquehanna Hose is going to be doing some ice training on Friday. I know that they did a whole bunch of training, I think, last weekend. They're going to be going out and doing it a little bit more. So if you want to just see how they use their equipment and how they practice using their equipment and how they practice doing cold water rescue, it would, just keep an eye out down at the yacht basin. And that is about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer, and good evening, Councilmember Shenagus.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administration, citizens in the audience and at home. What a lovely way to welcome our new season with a snowstorm. We haven't had snow and a light dusting maybe in the last 5 years, but here we are celebrating as a community, commiserating as well, but getting through it with grace because we're all working together here in Havre Grace. I thank you beyond measure, DPW, for personally coming to my home 6 times to shut off and on my water line so that we could get repairs done. I thank you so much. The team from the call-in station to the gentleman that came out to take care of the water were just kind and gracious and showed up without complaint and came right back as needed. So I am just, from the bottom of my heart, as a citizen, know that it's painful out there when things go wrong. You just don't know what to do. And we have a community where we can reach out to our administration, we can reach out to our police department, our fire department, our DPW, our citizens, our neighbors. This is Havre Grace. So thank you again. I would like to say I had an opportunity to attend a fun event in the community. It was cold, but it was an indoor event. It was lovely at the Luckiest Lights. It was an inclusive fashion show, and our very own Matt Ellis was one of the sponsors, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about it in his comments if he so chooses. But it was great to see people getting outside, out from their home to do something wonderful to bring people together. And if you need something more to bring you together outside in the cold, there will be a Valentine's Walk, of course, on Valentine's Day, which is a Saturday this year, February 14th, from 12 to 4. The community has love signs out where citizens have sent messages to their loved ones, and they're going to be placed out in the community for you to walk and find, to stop in at the local establishments to taste their hot cocoa and to give them a vote, and to just come in and browse and purchase things that you might want to for your loved ones. So come on out. I look forward to hopefully seeing some love sentiments that maybe I've written or others have written to you, and it'll be fun. So I hope to see you all out, and I look forward to our upcoming Super Bowl weekend. It might not be our teams, but it has definitely been a wonderful year to be able to see things change, a season where we have to let our teams, celebrate what they did and let others have their moment. And we wish both teams the best. I wish everybody that is going to be out having a good time in their homes and or at establishments watching the Super Bowl. And also remember, the Winter Olympics will be kicking off that same weekend. Until next time, back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Schneges. And we're going to go to comments from Councilmember Boker.
Thank you, Mayor Martin, citizens who are with us tonight. And so I'd also like to be part of that, the whole green team celebration as well, if you don't mind, because I am green. I only print one document, and I print that from home. Okay, just so that there's not the quality of the LaserJet printer, but I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that group. So bad. I do want to give a so Councilmember Jones actually kind of stole a little bit of my thunder. We're thinking along the same lines here. The Youth Commission was a major part of the college and career prep at our library on January the 31st, and it was such an incredible turnout that really impressed me. A lot of young people, future leaders, future citizens were out there talking to everybody, I was even pulled aside a couple of times, which I was honored to be able to address some young people in regards to citizen responsibilities and, what I did in my young career as a soldier and my young career as a federal employee. So it was nice. So I definitely appreciate that. I do kind of enjoy that as well. During the CAT Club, I get a chance to interact with the youth and so forth, citizens alike, who continue to bring me their water bill, and I don't mind breaking that down for you. I really enjoyed doing that as part of my job, right? That's how I look at part of my charter that I just assume. So I'll go ahead and make my comments short tonight, but I do want to thank DPW. I want to get on that bandwagon. I appreciate you. I want to get one of those saws that from George Pahuka or the cannery that they used in the river to saw out the ice of the river when they put it in the storage over at Cork and Barrel, and I think even Jolene has a place in the back there where you store the ice blocks. So those saws exist. I want to try to get one. It's probably way expensive right now, but I'm going to try to get one of those saws. But I do a heartfelt thank to you and the team. Hopefully, we'll see some employee of the quarter things that are coming out. Hopefully, members of council who are speaking the accolades will put some of those young men and women in for the accolades that they so well deserve. And I want to close with thanking, as I always do, the Susquehanna Hose Company, the police, EMS, and first responders. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker. And we're going to go to comments from Councilmember Ellis.
Mayor, council, directors, citizens here and at home. But a lot of what I was going to say was already touched on, so I had to dig pretty deep. Today's Groundhog Day, obviously, you saw his shadow, so got 6 more weeks of winter. The Youth Commission, the career fair, I've been a part of that for a couple years now. And I've seen that grow a lot. This year I was not able to attend. Last year I was, and I actually saw 2 people sign up for Hartford Community College there, so that was exciting. This year I know they had a lot more participation from organizations. I believe there was like 20 different organizations there, so people were able to see and gather information from a wide variety. So that's great. I heard it was a great turnout. I saw photos. The room was packed. Additionally, as Councilmember Shanegas mentioned, the Luckiest Light had an inclusive fashion show, and I was able to sponsor one of the gentlemen that walked in the fashion show. I did not know when I agreed to that I would also have to be there and walk through it, so that was officially my first fashion show as well. So it's every time I go in that building, I just see everybody in there is just so happy and just so grateful to be welcomed, and I'm just grateful every time that I see that type of environment in Havre Grace, and I haven't seen any group of individual that hasn't been excited to be here. So I appreciate that, and I know I say it all the time, but I just do, because I've seen different areas where that isn't the case, and it means a lot to me. So lastly, obviously DPW and the police and fire department, I appreciate all that you guys did and continue to do. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Councilmember Ellis. And words from the Council President.
Mr. Mayor, Council, everybody, I'll start off by saying, Joe, your crew, now I'm a little partial, but your crew plowing, they did a fabulous job. I saw so many people complaining online about the inexperienced plow drivers, and I can't believe Havre Grace to send the inexperienced plow drivers on, and darn, we haven't had a snowfall in like 10 years. Of course they're inexperienced. Everybody else retired. I mean, that's one of the good issues we have. I mean, we got our HR director. Tell me, how many people in the past couple of years have left DPW? So we don't have a lot of people who've been there for forever. So these guys have got to learn. So, but personally, I think they did a fabulous job. I really do. I mean, if you parked on the street, you're going to get plowed in everywhere. They're not going to plow and dig out your car, but, do what you can. And unfortunately, if you dig out your driveway, they're going to plow your driveway back in. I live on the corner of a little cul-de-sac, and every year I dig out my driveway 4 or 5 times. And it's just be expected. It's because where you live, and it's going to happen. And that's one of the things you have to deal with, living in a society where we have snowplow drivers. So I'm glad we have them to get out there on the street and clear the streets out. But I tell you, you guys were fabulous, every last little bit of it. From even yesterday when we had the water outage and the text and your guys going out, and we knew exactly when it went out, where it was, how soon it was fixed and everything. Just fabulous job, Joe. Really, thank you. Chief, your guys were out there, guys and girls were just handling it and did everything amazingly well. And we're very blessed to live in Mayberry and to have wonderful men and women on our streets patrolling. So thank you. Not much to add other than I went to the Upper Bay Antique Hunting and Fishing Show this weekend at Level. Great time. I got some oysters, which is great. Oyster stew I love. A couple other smaller trinkets. I got a Steve Lay decoy, which made me happy because I hunt with him. But it's really cool when you walk around a place like that and you think of Havre, everybody thinks about decoy capital of the world, and you know, a lot of the old names are gone, but still, I'm walking around and I got Bobby Jobs and Pat Vincenti and Steve Lay and Dave Walker and all these other guys that, you know, big names for decoy carvers. And you walk down to the, you go down to the decoy museum and they have displays for all these men that you can literally walk up. And even the guy I went to high school with, Richard Moretz, I mean, he's become an amazing carver in his own right. It's great to honor the heritage that we have in Havre Grace. It's just really cool for me, and my kids are gonna grow up here and get to see that kind of thing. So, I don't know, it's something that I enjoy. But I make the motion under the Open Meetings Act, General Provision, Article 3-305, to go into closed session upon adjournment of the open session on Monday, February 2nd, 2026, to consider the following matters. 1, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. 2, to consult with city staff and the city attorney about pending or potential litigation. This meeting will be closed under General Provisions, Article Section 3-305B. 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The reason for closing this meeting is consultations with the city attorney regarding advice and pending or potential litigation are entitled to confidentiality under the attorney-client privilege. The City Council will not resume open session after the closed session, and votes, if any, will be recorded in public at the council meeting on February 17th, 2026. And that is my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Council, I have a motion by the council president to move into closed session at the continuation of this meeting, or I mean at the conclusion of this meeting, rather. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Snegas.
As long as Jimmy don't breathe on us, good.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion go to closed session at the end of this council meeting is approved 6-0 in the affirmative. We're going to move to comments from the mayor. Many of you have seen this man at council meetings. Pretty much gives the invocation almost every other meeting. His name is Reverend Gene Proud. And he did us a real solid back in the first week of December. We kind of wanted some snow or some flurries for the parade. And when you know, we got some snow flurries for the Christmas parade. And so I mistakenly said I want a snow day in January as a teacher. And boom, we got a whole week off. And Reverend Proud, if you're listening, I'll be hitting you up for the winner of the Super Bowl and the total score and the point spread. If you don't mind, giving it to me, I appreciate it, Reverend Proud. So he definitely has a lock in with the Almighty. I appreciate Reverend Proud. But on a more serious note, I sent a message out, a CTY message, right before the storm hit, just to remind citizens, because it's been a long time since we've had a decent snowfall. Just some basics. I know a lot of streets have basketball nets on them, and people can leave trash cans on the streets and things like that. But I just wanted to remind people, to tuck things away, and if you're able to get your car off the street onto a driveway or onto your grass, do so. I mean, just the basic things, because the snowplows are going to be coming through the street. But this was a very unique snowfall. We all have heard stories that the Eskimos have over 100 words for snow, and the Scottish have over 30 words for snow. Like because there's different snows. There's different types of snow. Snow we normally get around this mid-Atlantic area, you can condense and pack. That's why I call it snowpack. Kind of packs away, you can push against the side, and you can make 6 inches down to 2 inches if you pack with a plow. But never before have we seen 3 to 4 inches of sleet. And sleet doesn't pack. Sleet is just like sand. It's like granules of sugar. It was weird. We all saw it come down, and it was very unique. And talking to a lot of our plow operators, they were having difficulties making it go away. Under my direction, Dr. Conaway and I talked that we wanted to remove as much snow from downtown as we could, especially in the business district and some of the areas of Congress Street and Pennington where we have parking lots. Because if you remember about a week ago, we were still looking at a potential storm that hit this weekend but missed us. Last thing we wanted was to keep adding snow to an area. So we removed a lot of snow, and we took it down to the yacht basin. And the space station contacted us and told us that they identified and have named Mount Tidings down at the yacht basin. So, you know, either that or it's going to be a glacier. It's going to be slowly moving its way to the river. But I think that mountain will be there until April at least. But I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens of dump trucks removing snow. I felt like a switchboard operator all week, which is fine. I mean, everybody's calling City Hall and people. I got a lot of emails from citizens that were really good emails. I mean, emails about things we were unaware of. A lot of the bus stops, you know, up in, especially in the neighborhoods of Bayview Estates and Grace Harbor, where sidewalks come together, there's that easement, they're all like 6-foot mountains. So, you know, we sent up bobcats, skid loaders up there to bust open the bus stops for kids. And, you know, a lot of citizens gave us good information, and we reacted about as best as we could to redirect our resources to some of the problem areas. Yeah, we got some complaints too, but I just, you know, want my citizens to realize that this was a very unique snowfall. It wasn't going anywhere. I mean, you saw the temperatures. I mean, the temperatures hardly broke into the 20s for a high. So there's no melting. There's no place to put it. There was 4 inches of sleet to compound the problem. So as Director Conaway said, as soon as the weather turns a little bit in our favor, it's a continuation. We still need to push back some snow on some streets. We know that. Where we excelled, I'm very proud of our staff. You know, some areas that we neglected, we'll get to it as soon as we can. Just a friendly phone call or friendly email goes a long way, and we'll get to it. Nobody is intentionally neglecting anybody. But, you know, like I said, I did put out a statement on social media. It might have been on the website too. The city has an ordinance. Within 24 hours of snowfall, you're supposed to clean your sidewalk. But the last thing, because the snow was so hard and so icy, and snow blowers wouldn't even work. My snow blower wouldn't even work on this. The last thing I wanted was someone to, you know, have a heart attack from anxiety or have a heart attack from chipping away this snow. So we kind of like relaxed the sidewalk requirement a little bit and just said do the best you can. Don't want anybody getting hurt trying to pick through this ice. So, but like I said, it was just a very unique snowfall with the sleet and with the Arctic temperatures we got for the 9 days following. It's very unusual. Normally in mid-Atlantic, we get a snowfall and a day or two later, it's in the 40s and everything's fine. So with everyone in the city of Havre de Grace, I appreciate everyone who looked out for one another. I appreciate everyone who looked in on those who couldn't help themselves, the elderly or the disabled. And, you know, that's the Havre de Grace style. Havre de Grace weathers adversity in good style. And, you know, some groundhog said today that we got 6 more weeks left of winter. And I think we may have some more snow coming our way before it's all said and done. But this is Havre de Grace and we'll handle it. But finally, Director Conaway and Chief Grass, kudos to the professionalism of your men and women. I mean, they're very professional. I heard nothing but great accolades for it. And like I said, the most important thing is how people behave in times of adversity. And that's the real judgment of everybody, is how do you handle hard times? And our city did it well. So with that said, I thank everybody for your patience, your understanding. And with that said, we're going to get Reverend Proud back in here next week, right? He's going to give me okay, just think about what you guys want to ask for. And have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Schneges. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is 8:48. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.